Happy Friday! Welcome to my Facebook Live cooking video. Everybody keeps asking me if it's on the Amici's page or Jennifer's page. Obviously, if you're on there, it's Jennifer's page. So I appreciate it. I got a lot more messages this week of everybody joining in and enjoying the videos. A lot of people have made some of the dishes from it, so I'm still really excited. We just keep rolling here. So today we're rolling into a pasta dish. One of the questions people ask me most right now in the restaurant is, what's light for dinner? The weather's hot here in South Carolina, it's very humid, and I understand Italian food can be kind of heavy, so we kind of look for things on the lighter side. So one of the dishes I always recommend is pasta primavera. Primavera in Italian means spring, and basically it's when all the gardening is done and all the vegetables are being harvested and herbs are coming out. So it's a wonderful, light, delicious dish to make. And it's actually pretty easy. Primavera is not actually an authentic Italian dish. It was actually created in New York City in 1970 from a restaurant called Le Cirque. And a couple people had it, and you know how that goes. It took off from there. So now it's almost in every Italian restaurant, and except for in Italy, you won't find it. But we love it here. So basically we have our vegetables out, and this is a minimal, like pan-using, pot, utensils dish. You're just going to need a knife and a baking sheet and a couple bowls like that. This is a very easy recipe. I try to stick with that. And people are already saying to me, wow, that's a lot of chopping. And it is. But I like to chop. It's very therapeutic for me. But you know, today in the grocery stores, vegetables are already cut. They're already in the little containers, all available to just pick up and take home. These have already been washed. Speaking of springtime and vegetables and gardens, these cherry tomatoes are from my garden. My son actually went out this morning and picked them all out for me. I think we may have eaten a lot of them. They're just so sweet and delicious, but the tomatoes this year are in abundance. The basil here is from my garden, and it has the best smell in the world. It's like Italian perfume. It's so good. The rosemary is also from my garden. So this is one of the herbs that we're going to be using from there. I cannot take the credit for these. Last year I tried to grow them and it wasn't so great, but I did purchase these, at the store today. Everything's washed, ready to go. The first thing we needed to do was to make our pasta. And so you just get a pound of pasta in a box, whatever you want to use. I do not recommend spaghetti or any of the long noodles because these vegetables are going to be cut in short pieces. You kind of want everything to fit on your fork. You don't want to have to slurp up spaghetti. So I went ahead and I already made my penne, and I have it just resting here in a strainer over the hot boiling steam. We did it yesterday. We made the pasta yesterday. I'm very lucky. I always have an abundance of anything I want. So this is ready to go, and I'm just going to let it sit there and stay warm. I have a baking sheet here because this is where we're going to be putting all of the vegetables after we cut them. So first things first, these are going to be last. We're going to get started with cutting the vegetables. And the only two tools you will need is a spoon, a knife, and this. And this is a potato peeler, but only because I choose to cut my carrots a certain way. Lord knows you can buy those in the little matchsticks today, and those would be perfect, even the little round chunks they have. So any of those is going to be great. What I'm going to do is a little trick here. These are frozen peas. I love peas. These are sweet, but they're frozen. These are all defrosted now, so you really don't want to bake these because they will shrink down and shrivel and they will not be good. So what I want to do is I'm just going to actually dump them into my pasta right here. And the heat from the pasta is just going to heat them through. Now, if I was boiling my pasta, I would actually throw them in the water with it, and they would get done. But these are defrosted, and now they're just going to sit there and warm through. See, so that's a little secret I just showed you. So I wanted to shout out to Gloria in Jersey, and I wanted to shout out to Maria, because I know she's watching. She loves to watch. So I'm grateful to that, and I know my family does. The one person I really wish could is my mom, but she doesn't have a computer and she doesn't have a cell phone. So when I go visit her soon, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to show her all the stuff we've been making together. She may correct me, but I'm used to that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop my carrot. Be careful when you're chopping, we don't need accidents. And I just take off the two ends, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to peel it and get that old, that outside skin off it. It's tough, it's a little bit bitter, and it, just traps a lot of stuff in it that we don't want. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get rid of that. There we go, nice and easy now. And that's pretty much done. Now, I like to do mine a little bit of a different way. You could certainly just chop them this way and get the little circles, but just for a little bit of decoration and a little lightness, I just like to peel my carrots like this. So we're just gonna go and make a little pile of these. I'm going to keep everything together. Turn it this way.
Beverly wants to know what you wash your vegetables with.
I just wash them in a sink, a little bit of detergent, and then I let them rinse, 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 rinse. They have sprays out today that you could spray on them. But after you wash them, just put them in a strainer and let them drain out. Get all that water out. Vegetables are mostly made of water anyway, so when you make this dish, don't say, well, you know what, one is enough, because one isn't enough. Trust me, this is a dish that when you're done, the vegetables are going to shrink down, and you're going to say, oh boy, what happened? So, okay, so I think this is good, and this is just going to make it really pretty because they're going to be light. So we'll save the rest of that for later. Okay, so I'm going to leave that over here, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our yellow squash. Now, these are just my personal picks. If you don't like any of the ones I've picked, you can certainly do your own. You can do broccoli if you want to. You can do spinach. And cut right down the middle. Because we don't want the circle so big because we want everything to cook at the same time. So we're going ahead and slice these. And we're going to slice them fairly thin. We want our vegetables to cook. Well, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to roast our vegetables, which is really easy. So we have all of those there. I'm going to chop this other one. Just go right down the center. Now I know I've seen these in the store already cut up. So yes, you can go ahead and get the bags. But if you want to really feel good about yourself, if you want to really hone your cutting skills, take out your knife and try it. It's easier than you think. Look how easy these are cutting. Okay, so then I have my yellow squash done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pan out here, and I'm just going to put some of these in here because I'm running out of room here. I don't want to put my carrots in yet. I'm just going to wait. Put those on. Does anybody else have any questions? Or everybody's good so far?
We're good so far.
All right, next is zucchini. If you don't like zucchini, you don't have to put them in. Another reason this dish is really good is because it's a nice vegetarian dish. You can eat it, just with the pasta like that. And then if you are a gluten person that can't have that, you can switch out the pasta and use gluten-free pasta. If you are a person that likes to have protein in it, certainly you can use chicken or shrimp in it. Or if you like your red meat, you could even use, you could even put sausage in there. You could put chicken sausage, turkey sausage if you want it on the lighter side. You can make it your own. Remember, that's what a recipe is. They're just a guideline. You don't have to stick to everything, unless you're baking, of course. But this can be modified. You can put in spinach. You can put in root vegetables, sweet potatoes, and all that. I don't think there's a vegetable I don't like. I always say I could be a vegetarian. But then I might miss my meatballs, my sausage. Okay, so we got all these in, and this is going to be a really pretty combination of vegetables, and we are done. Next is our pepper, and I chose red and yellow because I like the flavors of them. I find that green is a little bit bitter, and I don't want that in this. So I'm trying to show you how I'm cutting these. I cut them in half, right down the thing, and then I pick it up, and I just cut the core out like a V. You can just pull that right out. You can take these little white things out because they're no flavor. Again, a V. And it's done. See that? Just want to get these seeds out of here. It's not like a hot pepper, it doesn't make them hot. But nobody likes that in there, so. Okay, and then we're just gonna go down the pepper, hold it with one hand, go down the pepper, and you make strips. Watch your fingers, put your knuckles out as you get closer. Have a sharp knife. I highly recommend a sharp knife. You see how it's going against my knuckles? We're gonna do the red. Just cuts through it like butter. You want to steal a red pepper?
I do.
I knew you did. They're your favorite. Even when you were in school, I used to pack your lunch and put red peppers in there. Actually, I will too. Okay. So we've got our peppers in there. Now, just for a little bit more color, we have to put a little bit of spice in there. I have purple onions. Now, these were just in the cooler all cut up already. I definitely, probably myself, would have liked them a little bit smaller, but I'm just gonna cut them in fourths now. But if you had a whole purple onion, you cut the ends off, take the skin off, and just slice them so they come round. You can pop them apart and you have all these little circles. It's so easy. We're gonna put these together and cut them again. So see that in a matter of a few minutes, I cut all these vegetables. So it's really not that hard. Okay, then we're gonna put them there. Now I'm gonna just sprinkle on the carrots on the top. And it looks pretty because they're shredded. Okay, we're going to mix this around. Olive oil is the key ingredient here. You want a really good one. This is an extra virgin one that we use. So we're going to pretty much bathe the vegetables in olive oil. Alrighty. And then we're going to use a little bit of salt on them. Now when you put salt on vegetables, it makes them sweat. So it takes the water out of them. And that's why I said make more vegetables than you think, because once they sweat out and they shrink down, there's the half of what you have here. So we're gonna mix these all together. Again, I'm just using my hands, so you don't even have to dirty any tools. And look how pretty this is. Everything's all cut up even. It's gonna cook nice. You could add mushrooms in here if you wanted to. Like I said, sweet potato, any of those things. Next thing I'm gonna do, I know you're looking, you're like, well, you didn't put the cherry tomatoes in. I'm not gonna bake the cherry tomatoes with this because they will shrink all the way down. They'll be very sweet, juicy, but we're gonna put them in afterwards. But I am gonna take this rosemary that I got from my garden, also smells really good, and I'm just gonna place it on top. I'm not gonna chop it because rosemary is a very, it's very tough. And unless it's ground up and dry, it's very hard to eat this. These are terrible to eat. So I'm just gonna put it on top and just let it perfume the vegetables as they roast. So you should have an oven on 350, and you should let these roast for like 20 minutes. So once you put them in the oven, I'm gonna show you what they come out like. Here they are. This one I add a little broccoli at home, but here's the vegetables. And now I'm gonna take this rosemary off, and that's why I kept it in one piece. Because see how brown it is now? Nobody wants to eat that. So we're going to take the rosemary off, and then we can just discard it. So now that we have this done, we're going to make a little sauce. Before we mix it with the pasta, we're going to make like a creamy, lemony sauce to go with it. Now this is one of the recipes that we use at the restaurant. A lot of people like pasta primavera. Matter of fact, I had it last night. We had a little bit of different vegetables in it, but I was good with that. We even had cauliflower in it. All right, so this calls for 2 tablespoons of butter. Remember, on the butter it has the measuring things on there, so you can. Now I'm just going to put that in a little saucepan. We don't need a big one. It's not going to make a lot. And then I'm going to put in 1 cup of vegetable broth. This is just vegetable broth off the counter. Doesn't matter. You can, make your own, of course, with all these wonderful vegetables. What you could do next is you could take the ends that I actually threw out. You could put them in a pot with some water, and you can make an amazing vegetable stock with it. Okay, so that's a cup of water in?
Yep.
Okay. I mean a cup of stock. We're going to put that in with our melted butter. That might help. All right, so I'm going to put that in. And then I'm going to roll a lemon. And everybody knows when you roll a lemon, it releases the juice inside. So we're just going to roll that.
Okay, Fred rolls. If I put salt on my stomach, will it shrink too?
Do you have a lot of water in there? I miss you. I haven't seen you at the restaurant in a little bit. Saving your stool for you though, Fred. You know that. Say hello to Charlotte. All right down the middle we cut it. And you can either take the seeds out yourself if you want to. Because we're going to put in the lemon juice from this. And anytime you put lemon juice in anything, it makes it so much fresher and lighter. And once I squeeze it, I'm going to squeeze it into my hand. This way, if I have any pits that come out, they'll go right into my, and like that one, it'll go right into my hand. There's one. And there's 2. There we go. Okay. We're just going to add a little salt and pepper to this. We always season everything. Now, I have had it where you can put in a little bit of red pepper if you like to. I don't like anything spicy, so I don't want to do that. And then we need a ½ cup of heavy cream. So I'm trying to follow my recipe here. So we're going to come over here to the ½ cup. There we go. And this is a heavy whipping cream. So we have everything in there, the veggie, all this. Okay. We're going to turn it down. See, it's boiling, so we're going to mix up the butter. If you had a shallot, you could add that in there. A shallot is a milder form of an onion. It's very soft and it has a sweeter flavor, but it does give a lot of flavor to sauces like this. So we're going to turn that down. And then, okay. We're going to put the heavy cream in here now. And mix around. And we're going to let this come to a simmer. And what do we always say a simmer is?
Bubbles on the outer rim.
Yay! Hey, she's a good little cook. She don't need me to tell her anything. She's ventured out, made chicken curry. Okay, so we're gonna let that sauce just simmer here a little bit and thicken up. Because when a sauce simmers, it thickens up. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to take my pasta from the strainer and I'm going to put it in this bowl. And it's not, this one's not wet because it was just sitting, actually it is. This would have been a good day for my spider. Okay, we're gonna pour it in there. Now remember, our peas are already mixed in there. So we already have one vegetable in there. So we have these, and the peas are already cooked because they've been sitting on this warm pasta. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to add in our vegetables that we've roasted already. And they're just gonna slide off of the pan. Now, by roasting, you can saute these and on a pan on the top of the stove, of course, but by roasting vegetables, they become sweeter. So it actually gives them a better flavor. And it's much easier. When I roasted these today, I went and took a shower. So I'm so busy, I always have to find a way to cut things in half and make time for everything. Already, I want to eat this. Look how pretty this pasta dish is. And we're going to, wow, it smells good too. Because remember, the tomatoes were roasted with herbs already and olive oil. So if you wanted to eat it just like this, you could. Okay, and now we're gonna come over and we're gonna put a couple of the cherry tomatoes in. Just, if you want to put them whole, you can put them whole. If you want, like that one, those are tiny. The ones that are bigger, just cut in half. And they're going to give it like a little pop of freshness. Basically, that's... I'm so proud of my cherry tomatoes. Last year I tried, I've always had a garden my whole life. My grandmother had the most beautiful gardens you ever want to see. And after church on Sundays, we would just take our shoes off and go through the garden, eat raspberries, and help her pull all the vegetables. I didn't realize it then what a treasure that was, because now that I try to grow my own, I realize how much work they are. My mom's always had a beautiful garden that my kids enjoyed, so they've pretty much been around gardens their whole life. Abby, you gonna make a garden?
No.
Never? I don't believe you.
Well, the house I moved into already had green onions, so.
Yeah, that was so strange.
Hey, Dad.
We go to see the house. It's got an onion patch.
I thought it was going to be like white onions that I'll actually eat, but I don't like green onions, so.
Oh, scallions.
Yeah. We just.
Actually, you could have brought them into the restaurant. But anyway. Okay, so we have fresh tomatoes in here now. So, like I said, you could actually eat this the way you wanted to if you don't want to add this green base sauce. But I love it, and I want to put it in here. So it's nice and thickened. And what we're going to do is we're going to pour it in here. And we're going to pour a half a cup, this was measured out, of Parmesan cheese. Put that in there. And the very last thing we're going to put in is fresh basil and parsley. You always want to end things with fresh vegetables. These were out of my garden. I'm so proud of them. I just pick them sometimes and I just put them in the glass on the counter, and the whole house smells so beautiful. Sometimes it's rosemary. It's got that very woodsy smell. And I'm just giving these a real rough chop. We're going to add them in. Just rock your knife. Remember, don't take the top up. And I'm going to throw this in, just like that. And I'm going to get a little bit of the parsley here and do the same thing. So tonight, this will be on the menu at Amici's. It always is. It's not anything new. Like I said, you can add shrimp to it, chicken to it, whatever you want, or eat it as is. Okay, we finished it off with our fresh herbs. Now we can mix it all around. Smells good, huh?
Yeah.
So it's got a little bit of everything. See all how it's nice and creamy now? It's got that lemony vegetable sauce that we made. It's nice and light. It's already seasoned. How good that looks. Okay, we ready to try it?
Let's do it.
I already got us a bowl with 2 forks. I'm ahead of it today. You can try it with different pasta. Like I said, you don't have to use penne. You could use the orecchiette. You could use the farfalle, the little corkscrew ones. All of that stuff is amazing. You get some peppers in there for color. This is a very healthy dish, even though it has some pasta, but we all need the carbs. And I'm just going to sprinkle it with a little more parm. See how good that looks? Fork for you, fork for me, and I want a little bit of all the veggies. Good, huh?
Yeah. Nice and like refreshing.
It's a light dish, guys.
Yeah.
Everyone asks us that. What do you want? What do you guys have that's light? Pasta primavera.
It's good.
I highly recommend it with a nice white wine. This is a Pinot Grigio. I think I recommended a Pinot Grigio last time too, maybe. It's a different one. But they're very good for the summertime. I'm a red girl, but when it comes to a light dish, I will have a light wine. So good. Guys, try this. Let me see how you make out. Put some different vegetables in it. Make it your own. But make it happen. You guys have a great weekend.